Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of the end times. On this program, I want to talk about the shootings at the Sandy Hook Elementary School, which occurred almost 2 months ago. This was a prophecy from Almighty God of His coming judgment upon Britain and America, and in fact upon all of the decadent West. I have been very reluctant to do this program up until now, out of respect for the families who lost children in this tragedy, and out of respect for the 20 innocent children who died in this prophecy from Almighty God. And make no mistake, God did allow these 20 innocent children to die. He often allows the death of a few to save the many. In fact, He allowed His own Son to die to save the rest of us. And we are seeing this exact same type of prophetic warning from Almighty God in these Sandy Hook shootings. Now I want to show you how this shooting at Sandy Hook was a specific warning from God to the harlot Babylon, as found in the book of Revelation. As you know, God often uses numerology to warn His children. For example, we know that 44 and 444 refer to the United States and Barack Obama in Bible prophecy. And in his Newtown commemorative speech, Obama did use the word "for" 3 times. In other words, 444. And we saw the same numerology last July in those shootings at Aurora, Colorado, where 12 people were killed in that theater. Again, 12 breaks down into 4 plus 4 plus 4. And just last week, another 4 people were killed in Colorado. However, in the case of the whore of Babylon, as found in the book of Revelation, the number in that case is 28. There are 4 end times numbers in Bible prophecy: 4, 7, 12, and 28, as I have explained many times on previous programs. And the whore of Babylon, as found in Revelation, is slightly different from the United States and Britain, although I sometimes use the two interchangeably. Babylon includes Britain and America. For example, on the ram in Daniel chapter number 8, the 2 horns symbolize Britain and America, but the ram itself symbolizes the whore of Babylon. And in Revelation, the number for Babylon is 28. And don't forget, there were 28 people killed in this Sandy Hook shooting. I know the media always uses the number 26 victims. But don't forget the shooter's mother and the shooter himself. He killed a total of 28 people. And if we break that down according to biblical numerology, we will see that this crime is pointing to the whore of Babylon, as found in Revelation. There were a total of 8 adults killed. That's 4 plus 4. There were a total of 8 kindergarten boys killed, another 4 plus 4 combination. And there were 12 kindergarten girls killed. Now, ordinarily, I would say that that breaks down also into 4 plus 4 plus 4, but in this case, it is 6 plus 6, as I will explain in a minute. And the reason is because the total was 28. This is exactly correlated to a description of the whore of Babylon in the book of Revelation. Let's take a look. In chapter 18 of the book of Revelation, St. John describes 28 items of merchandise traded by the harlot Babylon. In verse number 12, he says, merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls. 4 separate items of treasure. And then he mentions 4 items of clothing: fine linen, purple, silk, and scarlet. So we see a 4 plus 4 combination. And now he mentions 6 more items: and all fine iron wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble. So now we see a 4 plus 4 plus 6 combination. The exact same biblical numerology that we saw at the Sandy Hook shootings. And John repeats the exact same combination in the next verse. Verse number 13. And cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense. And John continues with 4 more items: and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat. So you see there is a difference there. The first 4 had to do with perfumes and spices. The next 4 had to do with food items. And now John adds 6 more items that have to do with men and animals, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. So John repeats in this verse the same numerology as in the last verse: 4 plus 4 plus 6. And again, the exact same biblical numerology that we saw in the Sandy Hook shootings. In other words, there were 8 adult victims plus 6 girls, which corresponds to 4 treasures, 4 types of clothing, and 6 vessels in verse number 12. And there were 8 kindergarten boys who were killed, which breaks down into 4 plus 4 plus the other 6 girls from the kindergarten. And that corresponds with 4 types of spices, 4 types of food, and 6 beasts and men in verse number 13. And in each case, the total is 28. Now that is not an accident. So it should be very, very obvious that God is correlating these shootings at Sandy Hook with his judgment upon the whore of Babylon in the book of Revelation. So how do we prevent God's vengeance falling upon Britain and America? The book of Revelation says we will be burned with fire in 1 hour. Now the politicians are going to tell you that to prevent the deaths of more innocent children, we have to take firearms away from the law-abiding citizens. That is a lie from the pit of hell. That is not what God says in the book of Revelation. He says that the harlot Babylon will be judged for her immorality, not because its law-abiding citizens carry firearms. You politicians are preaching the lies of Satan. God says that he will judge Babylon because of immorality, pornography, abortion, homosexuality. Jesus said the end times would be as in the days of Lot. Of course, the media and the politicians will never tell you this. They are promoting the sins which will bring God's judgment on America and Britain and all of the decadent West. It's the very things which the politicians and the media promote in this country which will bring God's judgment on the whore of Babylon. And one more thing, don't forget, those 20 innocent children who died are a prophecy that the innocent are going to die along with the guilty. And as always, if you would like to learn more about the book of Revelation, you can order a free copy of my book, Revelation Unraveled. Simply write to the address you see on your screen, or you can send me a private message to my YouTube channel.